Good morning, Jim. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Errol. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of today's radio people because I didn't have this book when I was that jock that was on the air. I needed this book. All I had was Joel Whitburn and little paragraphs. But you are so in detail. You are giving things to everybody, every generation that just needs to be held on to.
There was a sense that I wanted to put these stories between covers before it got too long and before none of us make it out alive, as Jim Morrison famously said. It's a sense of legacy, I guess, in a way. And I knew, and I had some very good stories and very in-depth stories. And let's put them all together and recontextualize the stories in terms of the relationship I had with the artist and how it went down over, sometimes over several years, not just a one-hit kind of thing. So it varied from artist to artist, and had long relationships with Ray and Dave Davies, Warren Zevon, Jerry Lee Lewis, certainly.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun to revisit and reshape.
Don't you love those moments when you step into that space of a creative mind and you know they want to share their story and you get to be a part of that journey forward?
Yeah, and I think part of the key to what I do anyway is trying to get on the right wavelength with the artist, and whether it be through humor, which is often the way it happens, or just letting the artist know that I do know the work. I've done the research. I'm a fan, whatever you want to call it, and therefore the questions are not going to be stupid. And I think once that happens, the artist can loosen up or go, oh, okay, we can talk about music now. It's not just a celebrity bullshit thing. Oops. It's the kind of thing where Richard Thompson, for instance, was able to talk about the process. And it was terrific, about how these songs came together. And some of the stories are about that. Some of them are more, off stage, off color, if you want to call them that. But Thompson in particular was able to talk about the music making and what makes for a good song and what makes for a good cover song. And anyway, a lot of range in the book, I guess I would say, from, the profane and ribald to, in Roy Orbison's case, very spiritual,
Did you ever have equipment failure? And the reason why I bring that up is because I'll never forget my moment with Yoko Ono where she was she was supposed to be in the studio, but I ended up putting a microphone on the smartphone and recording it that way because equipment, you've got to kick. You got to punt the ball.
Yeah. It's happened. It has happened. There have been a few times where, nothing recorded, and your choices there are to punt and go, okay, nothing, I just lost this, or to ring back or call back or, talk to the publicist and say, tail between your legs, say, I'm sorry. And sometimes it'll be redone. Other times not. But it's happened. It's happened. If you'd asked me specifically who, I couldn't bring you there because I don't remember because I blocked it.
Oh my God, you must be reading my notes because I have a question here for that. I said, have you done so many interviews to the point where it's like, I don't know if I talked to him. Let me go on Google and see if my name is connected to him somehow.
Absolutely. I am somewhat infamous for talking to friends, and they will say, well, especially generally, I guess I remember most of the people I interview. However, not all the people I've reviewed over the years. And I've had friends who say, have you seen this man? And I'll go, no, never have. And then I'll do that. Oh, let's see. Let me Google this. And one time I realized I reviewed him not once, not twice, but 3 times. And had no recollection up until I read the review again and went, oh, yeah, that's right. I did do that. So, the mind has only so much space up there, right?
Yep. I was just on the phone with Kip Winger just a few minutes ago, and we were talking about how the face of listening to classic rock has changed, that at his performances, the younger generation, 25 below, are in huge numbers. This book is so important because those younger adults, they need this book so they know the roots of where all of this is coming from.
I think you're absolutely right. And it's sort of coincidental, I guess, but I have been reading stories lately, what you're talking about, where a lot of people in their 20s, I guess, especially maybe 30s, maybe they were turned on to this slightly by their parents or just simply Spotify, YouTube, et cetera. The fact that all of this music is now available, easy, at a click. And realizing that a whole lot of good stuff happened before they were born, before they were fans of music. And the expanse is massive. And I love the idea of people being able to go back in time and realize how good something was and how it still relates to their lives. And I mean, I did that when I was younger. No internet, of course. I went out and bought records. But I realized in growing up, I missed some things. And when I went back, it was like, this is great. I mean, of course, stuff happened before I was cognizant of it. And to have that sense of discovery or rediscovery is just, I don't know. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm really glad it's happening now. Asking the oddball question. I got kicked out of a Clay Aiken interview because I asked something very stupid. I thought it was a good question. They did not. My best one there is this is in the intro to the book, talking to Judas Priest, one of the guitar players. Forget which one. It was a phone interview. We did the interview and got there. And at the end of it, I could not help but say, Rob, the singer, Rob is gay, right? And he basically swore at me and hung up the phone. Okay. And the reason I asked was, not pejorative. I don't care. But there's so much gay imagery in the music, on the record covers. Rob riding out on his motorcycle and his chaps. But at the time, it was, no, I'm not going to talk about that. Go away, up yours, Then years later, Rob comes out as gay. And the hard rock, heavy metal crowd goes, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
So, it was just, I think the idea that I had forced the question upon him and he was not expecting it. And it's like, you should expect it. You drop these images all over the place. Come on. I felt like I would be a bad interviewer if I at least didn't bring it up. And, I mean, maybe he'd say, yeah, Rob's gay and we write about some gay stuff. That would have been a breakthrough.
21 of the artists featured in Backstage and Beyond are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As the author and as the journalist, do you find yourself ever in a position where you just kind of cover your face with your hands going, oh my God, I got to help share the journey?
A little bit of that, and I guess especially too in rereading the book. I did a little bit of that last night to prep for the interview, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that was me and that was them. And Bowie, say for instance, was like, yeah, that was an impressive interview, and he really went deep and thoughtful. Did the same with Iggy Pop, same thing. Despite his onstage image, he's quite an intellectual and an extremely witty guy, and. There are times where I was going, it was special to have these relationships develop over time and be able to be on that kind of wavelength that they were on.
Yeah. Wow. Well, congratulations with this book. I'm so proud of you for finally releasing this because it's now a part of our lives in the way that we can turn it one page at a time and take it all in at our own pace.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Please come back to this show anytime in the future, Jim.
I'd like to see it in October when Volume 2 comes out.
Let's do it. Let's book it right now.
Absolutely.
You be brilliant, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.